Remember that the darkest moments often leads to the brightest opportunities. Anonymous quotes. Hello everyone, you're welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast. This is a community for purpose-driven women who desire to live their dreams and aspirations. Our mission is to inspire you to live your dreams one day at a time while serving as a beacon of hope and guidance. We will be addressing various issues related to womanhood. Join me as we explore our journey of life together. I am your host, Uyime Hamilton. Hello, ladies. You're welcome to another episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's so great to be here. So, today we're going to be discussing what do you do when you feel like quitting? When you are faced with a challenging decision or when you're overwhelmed and you are reconsidering a step to take, and one of the feelings you have is to quit. So, what do you do? Do you just go ahead and quit, or do you have any other options available? So, that's what we'll be discussing today. So, let's get right into the topic of today. What do you do when you feel like quitting? So, as humans, definitely life is a roller coaster. There will always be times where there are highs, and there will always be times where there are lows. There are times when life will throw a curveball our way. So, what do we do with the curveball? Do we succumb to the pressure that the curveball puts on us, or do we take the curveball and make it into something new? So, I'll be sharing certain things that I get to do when I feel like giving up. I've been faced with certain life changing decisions. I know in one of my podcasts, one of the episodes, I shared about how I had to relocate because of a job offer that I got. And when I was faced with a decision of reuniting with my husband and quitting the job, how challenging that phase was. So, the first thing that I've learned to do when I feel like quitting is to stay objective. I usually ask myself, what do I want to achieve? When faced with a particular situation, what is the goal? What do I really want? What do I want to achieve? I know recently I actually homeschool my kids. I have two kids. They are still preschoolers, they are young. So I decided for this season of my life, because of balancing my work schedule with schooling and with running a family and all the dynamics that it entails, I decided to take a step back and homeschool my first child, who is going to be 4 years old very soon. So I remember when I was faced with that situation, the first thing I had to ask myself was, what do I really want? At that phase of my life, I needed some form of flexibility. I was actually going through a season of serious burnout. I tried so many things to see how I could balance up everything that was going on and that I was involved in. But it was quite challenging. And I know I've always wanted to homeschool, but I didn't see the possibility because I was a working mom and I didn't want to be a stay at home mom. I've always wanted to work, whether inside the home or outside the home, but I wanted to have a source of income. I wanted to build a career. as a practicing medical doctor and all that. So I had to ask myself, what do I want? I needed flexibility. So you have to begin with asking yourself, what do you want? And when you decide what you want, you have to prioritize your wants. You may have more than one need at that point in time when it comes to making a decision. So you have to pen it down. And in order of priority, you prioritize which is the most important need that I need to address at this moment. That will guide you in deciding how to go about whatever decision you need to make, whether you would need to quit or you would need to explore other options. So stay objective. Don't act based on emotions. Act based on facts. Act based on reasoning. Secondly, what I do when I feel like quitting is to ask for guidance from someone who has been where I am currently, or even if it means someone that understands what I'm going through and I can unburden myself to the person. I don't die in silence. I don't keep everything to myself and feel that yes, I've got it, I can handle it, I can deal with it. I want to, sometimes when you are full of high emotions or down or low emotions, you may not be able to think straight. So you need someone who is not necessarily in the current dynamics of what you are going through, who can reason with a clear mind, and you will be able to unburden yourself to the person and talk through it and listen and find possible solutions on how to address whatever dynamics you're facing. So, from my own practical experience, I remember when I wanted to leave my job at a different location to reunite with my husband. It didn't feel logical at that point in time because in the in my country at the moment, having a single income, that's one person bringing in income, may not really be a wise decision to make because of the economic situation. So having to quit a job just to be with my family did not seem logical. And also at that point, too, I was pregnant. There were a lot of emotions. So I needed to really assess the situation. Was quitting my job at that point in time the right thing to do? If yes, why? And if I had to quit my job, what other options will be available for me? So I had to actually speak with people that I knew would understand where I am currently and would be able to guide me through how to navigate that phase of my life. So, in the process of speaking to my mentors and my senior friends, they now told me that family is a priority. So if at the moment I have that urge to be together with my family because of my child and also because of my marriage relationship, why not? Because I will have other options of seeking for a job where I am going to be reunited with my husband, and it may take some time, but definitely there will be jobs available, even if the job may not be paying as high as what I am currently doing. It's a place to start. So the point I'm trying to make is that period, my judgment was a bit beclouded. I was confused on which step to take. But speaking with my mentors and my senior friends helped me gain a clearer perspective of the right decision to take. Then over time, I could confidently make the decision to move back and be reunited to with my husband while applying for jobs. And within a month of getting back to where my husband was and delivering my second baby, I got a job offer. So if I didn't speak with mentors or people that could guide me through that process, first, I may not have made the right decision. Secondly, I would have borne the burden, the emotional burden of going through that phase alone. So there's always an advantage with sharing what you're going through with someone you know you can trust, not just anybody, someone you know you can trust and that will be of help to you during that season of life. Then, thirdly, another thing I get to do is to, I've mentioned this in passing with the first point, but I want to emphasize it, is to make decisions based on facts and not emotions. Emotions will never give you the results that you want. So if you feel, because you already feel like quitting, you are already tired or frustrated or confused or overwhelmed, those are emotions. So if you now want to make a decision based on those emotions you're already feeling, your decision will already be biased because it's already inclined towards the emotions you feel. For instance, if you feel happy and excited and you make an emotion based on that, it's a decision based on that, it will be skewed towards the emotion you're already feeling at that point in time. But if you make your decision based on facts, what actually are the facts of the dynamics I am facing at the moment? What are the facts? What are the realities? Facts are things that it's something that will not necessarily change compared to an emotion. An emotion, today you may be happy, tomorrow you may be sad. But a fact is a fact. This is the reality. Irrespective of emotion, the fact remains the same. So you want to make your decision based on a constant and not a variable. The constant here is the fact. The variable is your emotions. So it's very important to decide whether you want to quit or not based on the facts on ground. Fourthly, I usually explore the options that are available to address my situation before I think of quitting. So before you think of quitting, shouldn't just be your first choice. Before you think of quitting, ask yourself, are there other options I have available? Are there other options? Are there other options I can explore? Quitting should be your last option. Remember, the focus is not should I is quitting wrong? No. If there is a need for you to quit, yes, but make sure that that reason for quitting is based on the fact that you've explored if there are better options available before you quit. Don't just get discouraged and you give up. Don't just get discouraged and you make decisions based on the discouragement you feel. Explore options, try other options. Like, for instance, with the story I highlighted earlier, before I decided that I was going to leave my job and go back to be reunited with my husband, it wasn't something that the thought came today and the next day I packed my bag and I left. No, it was something that over a period of a year plus, I had to process, I had to explore. I even had to explore the option because it was a government job. And when you tell a how will I put it, a lay person that you have a government job and you're thinking of quitting your government job to maybe go get a private job, the first thing they will tell you is, oh, the job security. With the government job, there's job security. You cannot just be relieved of your job at any point in time. So I had to consider those options. Okay, if I want to keep this government job, are there options available? Will I be able to get maybe a study leave so that the job could be there waiting for me while I go to study? But at that point in time, I wasn't confirmed yet on the job, and the confirmation was taking a whole long process. I had to reassess the situation. And where I was working, I didn't really have the support system that I would get if I was reunited with my husband, because my parents that would have been there to help me through the process, even though my husband wasn't present, were not with me. I didn't really have a strong support system to be able to take care of two kids and work a job. So I had to reassess and look at options available, explore all the options. Then it was when I saw, and the cost of transportation at that point now increased. So it wasn't even sustainable because before I could easily say, okay, I'm traveling once a month, maybe on a weekend or so, once in a month or once in 6 weeks. It was easier. But now the cost of transportation was on the increase. So it wasn't even making sense if I was going to spend maybe up to half of my salary on transportation once in a month, traveling with two kids. So my point is you have to evaluate the situation, look at the current situation you're facing, what options are available for you. Then, if you evaluate and you see that the options you have are minimal and the option to quit would make more sense, remember, based on facts and not on emotions, please, by all means, you go ahead and you make a decision. But if you look, evaluate the situation and you see that there are options available for you, like now, let me give an instance in this aspect of not quitting. I was faced with a situation where I became overwhelmed working, homeschooling, and schooling myself. That's I'm in school also schooling. And at some point, I became discouraged, and I was like, I think I want to quit my job to become a stay-at-home mom because the pressure became so much. I began to experience burnout, and I thought about it. I kept telling my husband, I think I want to quit my job. I'm tired of working. Even if it's for a season, maybe for like a year or so, let our second child grow up a bit and become a little bit independent and all that. But when I reassessed the situation, I asked myself, what do I really want? What I wanted was to work, to have a source of income, at least to support myself, to support my family. Secondly, I still wanted to be able to manage the dynamics I was currently facing. Then I had to ask myself, will being a stay at home mom solve this particular challenge of burnout that I'm facing? Will I be satisfied if I decide to quit my job and stay at home and not have a source of income? So will that quitting my job actually solve that problem? Then I went on to speak with people. Some first, I spoke with a friend I know is working and homeschooling and has 4 kids, and her last kid is even a 6 months old. I spoke with my husband too about it and spoke with another senior friend. And at the end, I came to the conclusion that quitting my job would not necessarily be the solution to this challenge of burnout that I'm facing. Then I had to explore, okay, what options do I have to solve the burnout solution, to solve the burnout problem, sorry. Then I came up with having to hire someone who helps out with chores. I came up with an option of a place to drop my kids during the daytime, a place that is flexible where I can drop them at my convenience, pick them up immediately I'm done for work. I don't necessarily have to wait till um, maybe school is over or all that dynamics. So the issue of childcare, there was an option for childcare. There was an option for taking care of the chores at home. And there was an option for still being able to spend time with the kids and be part of the homeschooling experience once I'm back home and rested. So my point now is explore the options first. If you now see that there are options available, don't quit. Still continue. But if you explore options and you see that there are no options available and quitting is a better option, by all means, please go ahead. So, lastly, what I do is to plan towards transitioning into living out what my ideal and preferred option is. Let me explain that. So, with this experience I just shared with you, told myself that if I want to be um, part of the being able to homeschool my kids, spend more time with my kids, and also be able to school and work, the challenge with working outside the home is I have to wake up very early, I have to prepare the kids, I have to prepare to go out, all that. If I'm able to get a job where I can work from home, it will ease off some level of stress. So now, planning towards, so my ideal and preferred option would be to still be a working mom, but to be able to work from home. I am not in that ideal situation yet, but what can I do to plan towards living out that my ideal situation? I can start applying for jobs, remote jobs. I can start gaining the experience I need to qualify me for the kind of remote jobs I want to do. So the point here is when you've explored and seeing that maybe options are available for you to make the current decision you need to make, you have an ideal that you want to achieve. Even if you are not currently living your ideal and preferred option, you can plan towards it so that when an opportunity comes, that opportunity meets you prepared. So don't just feel like quitting immediately, you just decide you quit. When you quit, what next? So before you quit, have a plan so that you can transition smoothly and not quit, then you create another problem, a new problem for yourself. So in other words, the quitting, the abrupt quitting didn't solve the problem. It only created a new problem. So plan towards transitioning into what your ideal or preferred option will be. So these are a few things I get to do when I feel like quitting. So you need to understand the peculiarity of your current reality and be be embrace your season. I did a podcast on this topic, embracing your season. Embrace your current reality and seek for ways in which you can improve and step into what your preferred and desired future would be. So I hope with these few points you were able to learn a few things you can do when you feel like quitting. So I want to close with saying never give up. Even if you feel like giving up, never give up. Always look for ways to address situations that cause you to feel like giving up. And you will be able to find a solution and a dynamics that will work out for you. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Women Light Out podcast. I hope you were inspired to keep taking steps towards living out your dreams. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to share it with other women and leave us a review on our social media platform, which is in the description box. Also, feel free to subscribe to our channel to get notified of new episodes. Till I come your way on our next episode, keep living, keep dreaming. Bye for now.